I have been wanting to buy this vacuum for a very long time, but I never bought it because this vacuum is mainly for cleaning a job site after like a punch list, or like the job site is 100% done and you want to pass the vacuum to make it look good for the client. This is not made for picking up big chips and especially sheetrock dust. And the reason why I wanted to buy this is because I like the thought of having a vacuum on my back while I use tools like this to cut sheetrock. So pretty much I just connect this here and I could cut the sheetrock. The vacuum will be on my back, so I don't have to worry about pulling the vacuum towards me, so that I can continue to cut without worrying about the vacuum, you know, not having enough cord length or hose length. But one of the complaints was that if you use this for sheetrock dust or, you know, sawdust, what happens is the filter clogs up very easily. If you see those holes there, the sheetrock dust just travels in through those holes and gets caught in the filter, and it clogs that up very, very quick without it getting full down here. That's why I never bothered buying it. That was what most of the reviews were saying, that this is mainly for a place or a construction site that is already done and you want to have this. So I put it on a back burner and said I'm not going to buy it unless I'm going to be using it for my home or a job site that is already clean. But I was on Etsy, and one of the stores in Etsy has a modification where you could use a Dyson filter for a vacuum using this right here as a pre-filter. So this filter will go inside of there and collect the sheetrock dust before it clogs the one in there. And it's a good trade-off because this can be cleaned. So you could wash this. It comes with two. I bought this on Amazon. So this is not official Dyson filter for the vacuum. So it came with two. I could take the one that's in there out, which is dirty, clean it up by washing it, and then put the one that is dry already in there and continue to work. So we could keep the filter that's inside of there, which is pretty expensive. If I'm not mistaken, it's about 15 or 20 bucks. I don't have to worry about that one getting clogged and having to change it every now and then. I mean, you know, more often than when we're supposed to. So while I was on the Etsy page looking at this, I got in contact with the person, and his name is Bill. I started to have a conversation with him, and I found a whole bunch of other things that he makes. So this is the rod that comes with the vacuum itself. He has an adapter where you are able to use a power head. This is the adapter right here, where you could put this on the rod, and the Dyson power head, you're able to connect it with a M18 battery, and it runs perfect. So in this video, we're going to be putting this together. Also, this he doesn't sell, but I asked him if he was able to take this, which is a Dyson handle, and somehow adapt it to the Milwaukee wand and connecting it to this end too. So he was able to 3D print this piece for me, which adapts these two together, and also this piece right here that adapts this hose that connects here. Before and after putting the filter, we're gonna see if it affects the suction. But first, let's focus on the simple things, which is getting this wand ready, and also this little thing right here. He also sells a switch, which we put right here on the side, so you're able to go up and down. So instead of having to, you know, put your finger in there, you have something sticking out, and it's much simpler. I like it. Do you need it? I don't think you need it, but I like the thought of having that like that, making it more simple. I just have to reach back and hit the switch instead of searching for where the button is. But first things first, let's put this wand together and see how that turns out. So there we go. The wand is 100% together. As you can see right here, and you guys saw how I turned it on and off. This is the on and off button for the brushes. So when I'm gonna start vacuuming, I just need to hit that. And when I'm done, I could just shut it off. And it's in a good place too. So while I'm using it, I just have to reach down. I don't have to go too low to turn it on and off. So I'm happy with how this came out. There's a lot going on and it's not as heavy as it looks, but I'm happy with how that came out. So let's start moving on to the modifications that we have to do to the vacuum. And the first modification that we're going to be doing is this simple switch. Let me just peel off this tape and just put that on right there. I want you to keep in mind also, the way Bill showed it on his Etsy page, this was facing up, but I wanted to put it this way, like facing down. I don't think there's a right or wrong way, it's just how you prefer it, and I prefer it to be sloping down this way instead of sloping up. I really like that modification. Before we go through the trouble of putting the filter inside, I want to see if it's going to affect the suction in any kind of way. So the first thing we're going to do is to test it on level 1 and 2 and see if it's going to be any different when we add the Dyson filter. So I'm going to be switching it down to level 1 and then switching it to 2 while it's recording, so we can see it on real time how high or low it goes. So 1 first. Sorry, I didn't see that the camera wasn't focused, but in level 1 it is at 10, and then at level 2 it raises up to 15. I'm very impressed because if you guys saw the shorts that I did on testing this on a regular shop vac that you plug into the wall, it went to 15. So this vacuum here that's a cordless on a 8 amp battery, 18 volt, it goes up to 15, so that's pretty impressive. So now let's install the filter with the adapter inside the canister itself and let's see if that changes anything. I wanted to point out that the bottom here is not a filter, like it's not, the cloth doesn't go all the way to the bottom, and it crossed my mind that it's gonna affect the suction in this part here. But when I took it apart when I first got this, if you look here, it's blocked off. And if you open here, this part right here has a gasket, so it's not getting sucked from the bottom. Literally the only thing that's getting sucked in is through these holes here. So we don't have to worry about the plastic here blocking off some airflow. So all we have to do is add this piece right here, slide that in. So that's how it looked from above, that's how it looks in the inside. You could barely see it, it's in there. Then we put the filter on top and the cover. It's a tight fit. And there you go. So you guys don't think I took the filter out and I'm playing with this. I do not know the results or what's gonna happen, but we're gonna slide this back in and we're gonna do this in one take. This is literally all one take. I'm not gonna edit anything. I'm just gonna keep everything the way that it is, so you guys don't think that I am skewing the results. So we're gonna do the same thing like last time. We're gonna do a 1 and then we're gonna do 2 and we're gonna see if it changes. Just a reminder, 1 was at 10, 2 was at 15. So let's see if that filter makes any difference. I would admit it did take a little more energy to bring it to 10. It did get to 10, but it did feel like it was working a little harder to bring it to 10. Once I brought the switch to a 2, it went to 15 pretty much right away. Well, to be honest, not 15. It was like 1 below, so maybe 14. But it's worth for me putting that in and sacrificing that 1 bar because like I said, I'm going to be using this for cutting sheetrock and for using like a circular saw and things like that. I really only did the wand just because, you know, I wanted to support a local business, an Etsy business. And when I'm not using this when cutting and doing things like that, I could use this to clean up the job site and things of that nature. So let me put this on and show you guys the finale. So like I said before, I want to be using this for tools. So just as an example, if I'm cutting sheetrock with this 3-inch grinder from Milwaukee, I could just put that on and cut. I don't have to worry about pulling the vacuum towards me. You know, when you're cutting and you're getting really far away from the vacuum, you have to pull it. It might, you know, skew your cut or mess something up, and it's pretty dangerous. Now I don't have to worry about that because the vacuum's on my back and I could just cut. So yeah, that's why I want to do what I've done. Now let's put on the wand. I'm very happy with this. So like I said, I'm not gonna be using this as much as I am gonna be using it for construction, like using it for tools. One gripe that I do have, one thing that I want to fix is this hose. I am gonna get the one that's longer. I think this one is 3 feet long, but they sell like a 9 foot long, and I think that goes when you pull it. Like, that's not 3 feet when you pull it. When it's all together, it's not 3 feet. But when you pull it, it's 3 feet. I'm gonna get the one that's about 9 feet. It's about 50 bucks. Not only do I wanna get the longer one because it's better to stretch out, but also I am a lefty. So when I use tools, I usually use it with my left hand. So if I'm using it like this, it's gonna be very uncomfortable, and it just defeats the purpose of me using a backpack. But yeah, I'm very happy with this. I am going to leave the link in the description down below on where I got all these things from. I highly recommend it. I'm very happy with this. I can't wait to put it to work. And for sure, I'll be giving you a later update, like maybe saying like 6 months of use or something along those lines of a short. So look out for that. I think it's really important for us to support our local businesses. But not only our local businesses, but also businesses like Etsy. The people that are on Etsy and selling things, they're family owned and they're individuals trying to make an extra buck. So instead of sending your money off to like Shein or Temu tools, take some time out and look at Etsy. You'll find some very interesting things. They have great stuff, and I highly recommend you go to Bill's page and look into getting the modifications for this vacuum. Like I said earlier, I will be putting a future update on how the vacuum is going and how the filters is going. So stay tuned for that. And that's gonna be it for this video. If you learned something new, you can show me by giving me a like. Any comments or questions, leave it in the comments down below. I answer every comment. If you write a comment down there, I am taking time out of my day to respond to the comments because I appreciate all the comments and questions. So I show that appreciation by responding to all of them. And if you want to see more projects like the one you just finished seeing, consider subscribing. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Thanks.